Hi everybody, this is Roger Aladdin Daltrey and I'm back with another video for you. And even though I just recently did a video where I said goodbye Mrs. Brown's Boys, because I've kind of given up on it, I still have always wanted to do a Mrs. Brown's Boys episode review, and so I'm going to do it because I don't hate Mrs. Brown's Boys. And I love some of those episodes. It's just, I'm just fed up with them. If you want to know why, just watch my Goodbye Mrs. Brown's Boys video. Okay, so here we go. And I would also love your thoughts on the whole Mrs. Brown's Boys series, if you can, in the comment section below. So the way I'm going to do it is, I'll tell you my favorite moment from each episode. So here we go. Episode 1. The Mammy. My favourite moment in that episode is when Kathy and Agnes were arguing about her ruining the counselling of Dermot and Maria separating. I would give that episode a 10 out of 10. It's a great debut episode. It was followed up with episode 2 called Mammy's Secret. My favourite moment in that is when Kathy is on the phone talking to someone saying, "Hello? You dirty bastard." But consider this, it's a much weaker episode. I know that it's the very first one to have Mark and Betty, and I think it's the first one with Rory as well. But that's the best thing about it. It's good to have a good sense of new characters. So overall, I'm going to have to give that episode a 7 out of 10. There's not many moments in that episode. That I like. Episode 3, Mammy's Merchandise. I liked it a lot more back when it came out than I do in the last few months. My favourite moment in that is when Buster finally gets the job of being best man at Dermot and Maria's wedding. Overall, I give that episode an 8 out of 10. Episode 4, and this is the very first episode to feature Dino. And I think this was the very first episode I ever saw on the show, and I loved it. And in season 1, this is probably my favourite episode of the bunch. Mammy Rides Again. And my favourite moment in that is when Agnes and Winnie turn up for the hen party, but then they realise it was a funeral, and then the next minute Agnes starts singing Sex Bomb, which is a song by Tom Jones. My aunt is a massive fan of Tom Jones. I must admit, he is pretty damn good. He's a great singer. But I even do like the one where there was where we see Mrs. Nicholson, who is Maria's mother, for the first time, which some people don't like because she doesn't look the same there to where she was in later episodes. I would give that a 10 out of 10. I love the atmosphere of the whole episode and every moment. It's great. But another reason why I'm giving up on Mrs. Brown's Boys is I had, seen all of the episodes. I haven't watched them in I think 2 or 3 months. I don't need to. I've seen them so many times. And in the future, if I wanted to, I would just go online onto the internet or something, or whatever. Mammy of the Groom is episode 5. And that was the episode where Dermot and Maria finally got married. I'm not sure. I think the one where Dermot is hiding in the cupboard is probably my favourite moment in that, because he was really overwhelmed about the wedding and it was a really sad moment for him. But once again, I loved it a lot more back when it came out than I have in the last few months. I give that episode probably I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Episode 6, Mammy's Miracle. My absolute favourite moment in that is the one where they have Granddad's funeral. Still one of my favourite Miss Brown's Boys moments. Second though would be the one where Father Quinn is trying to give a few tips to Mrs. Brown, and that kind of reminds me a lot of the stuff on some of the past 5 episodes. I think they would have fit perfectly on them ones. But otherwise, it was okay. But I loved it a lot more back when it came out. The last few months, I've rarely watched it. I would give it a... I'll give it a... I'll actually give it a 10 out of 10 because it's a great episode. Then, of course, it was followed by a Christmas episode, which the name escapes me at the moment, so I can't really give my opinion on that one. So we're going to go on to season 2 now with Mammy Pulls It Off. Absolutely one of my favourite episodes on that. Many great moments in that one. I think my favourite in that would probably be with when Tom Ragocci, I think his name was, came over to interview Agnes for something, and then he was like, "Right then, let's begin. You have 6 offsprings. Yes, 5 boys and a child. And this is... that's an exchange student from Switzerland. Then, I see, and Grandad is dead." Why do you keep bringing this up? When did Grandad die? If he dies next Friday, he'll be dead 10 months. And he died of... Tuesday. And speaking of which, today is Tuesday. And then she kind of got into trouble then afterwards, and when she was told that she was going to go to prison, Buster came up and was like, "Hold on there, pal. You can't talk to Mrs. Brown like that. And if you also know about this, you could be charged accessory as well. You could also go to prison." Prison? Then, it was her. See us. And then she's like, "Prison!" And then, which is the EastEnders drumming, and it also is, and it's also the same drumming on the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight," which is my absolute favourite Phil Collins song, and from my favourite Phil Collins solo record, Face Value. But anyway, I would give that a 10 out of 10. And once again, I've just never watched it the last 2 or 3 months. And also, another moment I really like in that is, I think it's the one where Winnie said, "How are you, Catty? How is your dick?" "It's Mick." "Well, how are things there?" "Fine, thanks, Winnie." Yeah. Okay. Season 2, episode 2 came next with Mammy's Coming. One of my favourite episodes in that, another one of my favourite episodes. My favourite moment in that is during the therapy session for Trevor's send-off, and that's one of them. But I also like the scene where Mrs. Brown holds something up and says, "An erection," and then, just like that. I also like that one, but I even do like the one where, what is it? I like the episode where she was giving out to Rory for answering the question, where Katie said, "But Rory, why Dino's Veruca? Does it bother you?" And then, "Answer the fucking question! It's a simple question, answer that! You give me 30 seconds, I'll get you an answer." Yeah. See, that's the thing, I like to throw humour into my videos. Because I like to do a variety of things, because rather than just doing my music, I like to talk about my cartoon characters, like Aladdin, for instance. And I also like to talk about TV shows and throw some humour into these comedies. But anyway, that's one of my favourite moments. I would give... Oh, sorry, I forgot to give my rating for Mammy Pulls It Off. I gave it a 10 out of 10, and this one, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Even though I haven't watched it in the past 2 or 3 months. Next episode, Mammy's Batteries Not Included. When that came out, I didn't know what to think, and I still in a way don't know what to think. But I liked the fact that there was a new Brown do, because that was the episode where Maria was getting pregnant. So I sort of do like that one in that way. My favourite episode is where Maria and Agnes talk about pregnancy. some of the moments though are weak. So overall, I'm gonna have to give that episode probably a 7 out of 10. But some good moments in that. Season 2, episode 4 came next with Super Mammy, which is pretty much the female version of Superman. My absolute favourite moment in that episode is where Dermot and Buster start talking about Batman and Robin. Not like Robin as in a Robin Hood. Not even the human Robin Hood, or not even the Fox Robin Hood from that animation film. Just Batman and Robin. I just love where Buster's like, "So Damo, what do you want me for? I want to see if you fancy doing Robin next week." "Yeah? Where are we, Robin?" "Not thieving Robin. Robin. Like Batman and Robin." "Oh, that Robin. Who's Robin?" "Me." "You want to give that up, son?" "No, Mammy. He's not going to be Robin. He's going to be Robin." "When?" "In a few days." "But he's not Robin today." Obviously. When I do think of that, it kind of feels like Dermot and Buster might be going shoplifting. And I forgot to mention in Mammy at the Groom, I also like the one where Buster tries to say his speech, and the one where he's like, "The first time me and Dermot went shoplifting." That's what I really like. But I love Super Mammy too. I love the one where Kathy says to her then boyfriend Thomas, saying, "Well, we won't be seeing Mammy tonight." And then basically I love when Agnes then dives out the window like Superwoman. Because she was Superwoman there, because how could she be Superman? So I would give that episode an 8 out of 10. Season 2, Series 5, Mammy's Going. Absolutely my favourite Mrs. Brown's Boys episode. Many great moments in that one. One of them was probably the one where they were talking about putting Spartacus in the home, so Rory was like, "Right, she's gone. Now, the big question, who's going to tell Mammy?" "Well, not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. Well, not me. Not me." And then all of a sudden they had to get Mark to do it, and he was like, "No, not me. Come on, Mark. You know you're the best at talking to her." "Yeah, right. Okay, I'll do it." Poor Mammy. She'd be really upset. I just love that moment so much. I also like the one where they talk about the surprise party and Rory's like, "Right, what about the other thing? The birthday surprise?" "Shh, will you shut up, Rory? He's going to give it away." "Rory, the party's a secret. If I hear you lay it out, I'll kill you." "I'm only asking where we are on it." I also like that moment. I even like the one where they were talking about the interview. There was an interview where Thomas was interviewing Agnes for something, and then it was one where Candy said, "Do you mind if I stay?" So what you say? I said, "Do you mind if she stays?" And "No, Candy, you just sit there." And then, "Now, Mrs. Brown, could you pick one obvious difference between your mother and yourself?" And then, "Yes, I could." Over. I liked that moment a lot. I even liked the one where, and then I even liked the one where they surprised her with a birthday surprise, and then he was like, then she was like, then when Dermot said, "Yeah, are you delighted?" Then, "You've no idea how fucking delighted I am." "I thought you were gonna put me in a home." "A home?" "Yeah. So why would we do that? It's in the script." And then, "Ma, we'd be all lost without you." I suppose. Anyway, I would give that moment, I would give that a 10 out of 10. And once again, I've just never watched it the last 2 or 3 months, as I said before. Season 2, Episode 6, New Mammy. This is one of my favourite episodes, actually. My absolute favourite moment in that is when we meet their grandson, Bono. Not as in, and of course, he was named after Bono from U2. And as I said before, U2 is one of my all-time favourite bands. And now, since my 19th birthday, I own the whole U2 studio discography. I like the one where Agnes comes in saying, "Ah, ha, 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 Bono, what are you doing?" And then all of a sudden, he's like this. And then you can see the rubber tips and the thing there on Grandad's forehead, and then, "Now, Bono, if you go to that to Grandad, take the rubber tip off." And then, "Is he your granddad?" "No, he's not my granddad. He's my husband's daddy, but I call him Grandad. Among other things. And I'm your daddy's mammy, so you call me Glani." "That's right. And daddy calls me mommy." "Yes. And your mommy calls me an cow. An owl cow." "Does she now?" Really funny. I also like the one where Buster comes in saying, "How are you, Kathy? Are you still having that dream about me where I'm covered in oil and you're sliding up and down me?" "I've never had a dream about you." "Oh, it was my dream. Because obviously Buster has a crush on Kathy, but Kathy doesn't have a crush on him." I also like the one where Dino and Rory were arguing, where he was like, "I hate you, I hate you, you can sit down." "I don't want to sit down." "Ah, suit yourself." "Oh, don't you worry, I will, like you always do. I've had a good teacher." "Yeah, but and that one's mine, and that one. And I think this is mine. You can think again, get that book in mine." And then, "This is better, episode almost fun, but this one is a double album. Where is it?" "I ate it." "Bastard!" And then, "Are you two fighting?" Then, "Mommy, did you hear that?" "I know, come here. Shh, now, I know." I mean, great episode, I really do love it. I'm going to give that a 10 out of 10, easily. And as I said before, I've just never watched it the last 2 or 3 months. Then, of course, we get 2 Christmas episodes. I forget one of them, but I know one of them is called The Virgin Mammy. And to be honest with you, I've never cared for that as a Christmas episode. And when I watched it back in the past, I gotta tell you, I've never ever really loved it. So, I'm gonna have to... I keep forgetting my rankings. I'm gonna give New Mammy a 10 out of 10, as in case I said. I'm getting old, I'm losing my memory. Anyway, so now we go into season 3. This is the final series. So we get Mammy's Spell. And once again, when it came out, I really liked it, but now it's just an okay episode. My favourite moment in that is when Dermot and Buster come in dressed as Ken and Barbie, who were also characters in the 3rd Toy Story movie, which at the moment is the 3rd highest grossing animated film of all time. The second one being Minions, and the first one being, of course, Frozen, which to me is one of the most overrated films of all time. But I don't mind Frozen, it's a pretty good film. I know there's some diehard Frozen fans out there. You know, Frozen, a very talented movie, just not for me. But I don't hate it either. I just think it's overrated. I also love, I just love when Agnes says to Ken for Dermot, "Would you like a cup of tea, son?" "No, Mammy. We just called in to see if you're okay. We heard about Mark." And then, "Would you like a cup of tea, son?" "No, Mammy. We just called in to see if you're okay. We heard about Mark." And then, "Close your bucking mouth." And then, "Would you like a cup of tea, son?" "No, Mammy. We just called in to see if you're okay. We heard about Mark." I'll do it one more time. "Would you like a cup of tea, son?" "No, Mammy. We just called in to see if you're okay. We heard about Mark." It is what it is. I'm fine. I even like the one where Bono looked very sad and then they managed to cheer him up with triplets. Because then, of course, the triplets came around and Their names were named after 3 members from the Beatles. Only John, Ringo and George, and sadly, no Paul McCartney. Maybe Dermot could have been Paul McCartney then. But I don't know. Sure, Paul McCartney was even a character of Beatlemania. That episode, I'm going to give that episode probably a 7 out of 10. But some good moments in that. Then season 3, episode 2, I forget what name it's called. So I'll have to skip that one. Then I think the next one is Mammy's Inflation. And I think my favourite moment in that is the one where Cathy's breasts make farting noises. So for example, I'll act that scene for you. Sit down, Thomas. I'm glad you've called. Actually, I have a surprise for you. Oh shit. Then, a surprise, really? What do you think of this? Then, look, Cathy, I've been trying to ask you something all week. I know it's difficult to get some privacy in this house. But we're alone now, Thomas, so what is it? Wait. Does this turn you on? Then, well, not really, no. Go on, Thomas. Well, Cathy, love is a strange thing. Yes, it is. Then we can't hope for who or what we love. No, we can't, Thomas. And then I managed to find something for saying someone who is as warm and as gentle as you, then. Hiya! Oh, piss off, Rory! And then, go on, Thomas, warm and gentle as me. We can't find something for like that. I've been offering a place in university in America. That's fantastic, Thomas. And I was wondering, yes, will you mind my dog for me? Oh, Thomas! I've never even considered marriage and now we're... You're a dog! Yes, just for a year. Thomas, I have been a loyal and faithful girlfriend. I am an attractive and intelligent woman, just like Jasmine is. But of course, if she was real. But I can always talk about the actor who plays Jasmine, Linda Larkin. For more happy to every man knows. Then, for the last year, I have been a loving and caring partner. And now, you want me to mind your dog? Yes, sir. Just for a year. I'm not so sure now. Thomas, good luck in America. And as for your dog, why don't you cover him up in butter and shove him up your arse? And then, now get out! And then she starts holding her breast then to send him away. And then that was it. He was gone for good. I give that episode an 8 out of 10. And again, as I said before, I've never seen it in the past few months. Then I forget what the next 2 episodes are, and then this is kind of the last proper episode, Mammy Swings. And once again, when it came out, I really loved it. I loved when the wedding arranger, Lala, came in, and the funniest moment in that, and I think my favourite moment in that is the one where she says, when they talk about the wedding discussion, and Cathy's like, now, Mammy, you just let Lala get on with it. Don't interfere. Excuse me, I speak my mind. I'm not going to just sit here with this gobshite is talking rubbish. Then, Mammy, tonight is about Rory and Dino's wedding. Then, sorry, you're right. Hello, Tinky Winky. And then, it's Lala. Basically confusing it with Lala and Tinky Winky from the Teletubbies. Then, of course it is! A far more sensible name. And then, one of the funniest ones was when Maria was thinking of some more traditional concepts, saying, I've actually drawn pictures. We don't want to see pictures. And then, if my wife wants to show pictures, she shows pictures. Thanks, love. And then, the theme is pure love. The happy couple are in white suits, and you walk down the aisle to the song, Knights in White Satin. Ah, now Maria, now you're talking. Boring. It's a gay wedding. It has to make a statement. What? What? And then I love the part where Agnes then says to them, it's up for them to choose the wedding that they want. So boys, what's it going to be? And then, oh, Dino, what do you think? I don't know, what do you think? Oh, I don't know, what do you think? Oh, I don't know. For Christ's sake, what do you decide? Will Mr. Strictly come dancing? Strictly? Where's the remote control? And then, you bastards! The whole lot of you! Rory, love! Then, well, I think we all know who's to blame for that. We certainly do. Then, yes, we do. And then, Grandad, you bastard! Why did you rush them? And then he was just accused for it. Another moment I like in that is the one where Dermot says, the thing is, Rory and Dino got married this morning. Just the two of them. On their own. Did you hear me, Mammy? Where the hell is she gone? And then, Jesus! Roy did what? Why? When? Married. This morning. We're out with his mother. Yes, we're out with his mother. Just like that. Just like that. I even like the moment where Buster pulls the balloons too early. And then Mark's like, look everyone! Rory wouldn't ring the doorbell. And I told him to honk his horn when he's coming up the road. So don't be panicking. We'll have plenty of time to hide. Then, Father Damien, what are you doing here? Like the rest of you. I came to celebrate the happy couple. I thought you didn't accept gay marriage. No, Mrs. Brown. I said the church was against it. I'm happy to celebrate love in whatever shape it comes. Which some people would. Some people would do that. Some people are against it. Like the church, as I said. I would give that episode a 10 out of 10. So that's pretty much it for like all the proper episodes. And then what they did was they put out some Christmas episodes, which I did like. So next one is Buck and Mammy. One of my favourite Christmas episodes of all time. Probably my favourite Mr. Brown's Boys Christmas episode. I think my favourite moment in that is the family games. Where they were talking about, where basically they were doing a charade and basically somebody was like doing the silence of the lambs when it was limbs with the like that. Like, here's a charade for you. Leave a comment below on what you think it is. Hold on, I'll be back in a minute. I just need to get something. Okay, comment below. What is a charade? Okay, comment below what you think that charade is. And basically, Agnes got very annoyed, and I remember when they were playing I Spy. Actually, I think one of the funniest charades ever was when Agnes was like, film and book about a great white shark. Jews! And then, film, musical one word, Oklahoma. And then, this game, one word, one syllable. Comes out your arse. Shite, exactly. And then, that's it. Let's play something else. I Spy. Oh yeah, good idea. Mum, you go first. You won the last one. And basically Agnes got so annoyed And he was like, fine. Then, I spy with my little eye something beginning with F. Phone. No. Photograph. No. Photo frame. That's 2 F's. No. Feckin' idiot. Basically, Buster was confusing the PH with an F. Like, the name Phil is spelled PH, and then the fill is to fill something up, like you want to fill a bucket of water. Then, I also, what other moments do I like? I like the one where, Rory comes in dressed up as the Pink Panther, and then when Dino says, oh, come on, Rory. No, I feel stupid. You should have read the invitation properly. It said dress fancy. And then, I thought it said fancy dress. Oh, he was insulted. I think another moment in that I loved was the one where Agnes was on the Christmas tree and then Grandad was making it shake, and then, Grandad, stop! And then basically, Grandad was laughing his head off, and then, then the next morning she was stuck in the tree, and then when Kat took the remote, she could have probably stopped a thing, and then when she was like, will you stop that feckin' thing? And then, Catty, oh fuck this. Then, I also loved the one where, another moment I really liked in that was when Santa came in, and then Agnes was like, oh, hello Santa Claus. What are you doing here 3 days early? Then, I wanted to talk to Bono. No, Bono, you sent me a letter. Yes, I did. Well, something's happened to it, so I can't read what you asked for. Oh dear. What will we do about that? Why don't you come over here and tell Santa? Yes, and then that way Santa will know what a good boy you've been out here. Hey! Shush! And then Agnes was hanging around the place, and then Santa was like, Mrs. Brown, this stuff is private. And then, I'll get you water for you, Bono. So yeah, one of my favorite Christmas episodes. I'm gonna give it an 10 out of 10. And as I said, even though I've did that Goodbye Miss Brown's Voice video, it still doesn't mean I don't like the episodes anymore. Anyway, next episode is Who's a Pretty Mammy? And this was when they finally got a school for Bono. And I think for a while, this was probably the last episode for a while. For a while, this was probably the last Miss Brown's Voice episode. So, one of my favourite moments in that is when they got the parrot, and then one of them was when Buster says, come on, say it. Buster, you are so gorgeous. And then, he won't talk, Buster, he's not fucking blind. And then, come on, say it. Buster, you are so gorgeous. Then, wanker. And then, that was close enough. And there was one where, basically, Buster and Dermot dressed up as two Charlie Chaplins. But then Dermot was like, no, ma, Laurel and Hardy. And then basically when they heard about the sad news of Maria's aunt, Mary Sheridan, who passed away, Buster then was being insulting, saying, clinic. It's difficult. Buster! And then, I have to tell you, Maria's quite upset about it. So if she calls in, be nice to her. And then she says, she'll have her mother with her. That bitch! Mammy! Because Mrs. Brown hated Mrs. Nixon ever since the Christmas party. And at the Christmas party, they wanted to play charades, but they said no. And then, remember Rory said, last year Dino had to have counselling. And I also liked that part where, basically, there was too much powder, and then when Buster said, Happy Christmas, Dermot, the snowman blew up. Because Dermot dressed up as a snowman. Then, I also liked the one in the New Year's Eve special where what was it? I liked the one where they were having the quiz show and then Buster gave 4 wrong answers. For example, the first question was, what was Gandhi's first name? Goosey Goosey. When it was Mahatma Gandhi. Then, how long did the 6-Day War last? 30 years. When it was supposed to be 6 days. Then, complete this nursery rhyme. Mary had a little lamb. Her father shot the shepherd. When it was, her fleece was white as snow. White as Snow is also a U2 song from the No Line on the Horizon album. And the tour for that album is the highest grossing concert tour of all time. And then, finally, Buster, what school did you go to? St. Stephen's. And then, Bono is not going to that school. And then there was one where Dino ate meat and he was allergic to it, and then Rory was like, oh no, then, Mammy. He's like, Mammy, you gave him meat? He's allergic to meat. Allergic? And then he was like, I'm stuck in a toilet. Dino, open the door. And then, Mammy, he looks like an orangutan. Anyway, that's one of my favourite New Year's Eve specials. I give the whole episode a 10 out of 10. Then there was another episode on for a while, and then I think there was another Christmas episode in 2014, but I didn't see that one. Then, finally, to finish it all off, Mammy's Gamble. And my favourite moment in that is the alarm system. And when they got caught 3 times, Agnes was asked Buster to reset the cage, and then he said, I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. And then, you tool. I even liked the one, and even that was when the armchair got stolen. After Agnes said, Grandad, get out of the bed. You missed half the day, and you don't want to do that. You haven't many of them left. I also liked the one where he said to Dr. Flynn, here you go, Dr. Flynn, cup of tea? I wouldn't mind a cup of coffee. Well, I brought you a cup of tea. Coffee, please. There's tea here right in front of you. Is it mint tea? It is now. And I think another great moment is when he was like, clinic in London. What's that about, Grandad? Grandad? Grandad, where are you? I'm in the bath. That's my bath, you bastard. And then, coming in was Dermot in a pack of playing cards, which was very cool. And basically he was like, it's one of the hardest things you ever have to do. Why? I spend the whole day doing this. And then, would you like a cup of tea, Mammy? Love one, Mammy. Sorry. Would you like a cup of tea? Love one, Mammy. And that was quite cool. Even when Dermot and Maria got the €15,000 to go on their own, but Agnes kept 5 of it. And at the very end, I love when she said, Grandad, what are you doing? I'm off for a bath. Yeah. I give that whole episode a 10 out of 10, and that's possibly my favourite episode on the show. As I said, it would have been Mammy's Going, but that was probably my favourite. Then there was 2 more episodes after that, which I never cared for. And then, least but not last, then that was when Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie, came out, and that was when I really got turned off by Mrs. Brown's Boys. Then came, of course, All Around Mrs. Brown, which my aunt was telling me about, and I kind of against it first. And my favourite moment in that was, of course, other stuff. There was some good moments in that, like I remember talking about it to a friend, where I remember Buster was strange dressing up as Fiona from Shrek, and then Dermot dressed up as Shrek, and as I said, Shrek is number 3 for me, Homer Simpson number 2, and then of course Aladdin at number 1. I mean, no other cartoon character in my opinion can beat Aladdin. Not one. And that's why I use it as my middle name. That's why Aladdin is my middle name. Just so I can consider myself as a man if I was a cartoon character. And basically I was saying that afterwards, I was saying to somebody that it was probably one of the best episodes ever released. But after that, I never ever watched it again. And just thinking about it and everything, I'm gonna have to give that a 4 out of 10. You know, like those small ones they make, like the one where Buster was talking about Trump, which was a nice tribute to Trump, because some people did like Trump, and maybe Trump might have liked Mrs. Brown's Boys. But it just doesn't work. Like, even Buster dressing up as Fiona doesn't work, and as I said before, Mark dressing up as... If Mark dressed up as Jasmine, that wouldn't work either. Because as I said, Mark would need to have his skin tanned, and as I said before, Jasmine has really tan skin. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the Mrs. Brown's episodes. And I would love your thoughts on the Miss Brown's Boys series. If you don't like Miss Brown's Boys, were you ever a fan? I just want to know. And if you are a fan of Mrs. Brown's Boys, I respect that. And so, it's just that I've changed my mind about it in the last month or two. So thank you very much. Leave comments below. Bye.